At ngayon naman, Carla, alam na nga natin, nag-file ng evidence or nag-file ng complaints, no, ang NBI at DOJ sa Ombudsman kahapon. At para bantayan at tanungin na rin siguro ang mga specifics tungkol sa kasong ito, makakasama natin ngayong umaga si Attorney Manny Luna. Magandang umaga, Attorney.
Magandang umaga.
Magandang umaga naman. At sa ating mga kababayan who are viewing itong programa na ito ngayong umaga.
Attorney, siguro umpisahan natin doon sa nangyari nga kahapon. Ano ang tingin ninyo sa final na complaint? 150,000 pages worth of complaints, no, dito nga sa Office of the Ombudsman.
Well, it's really unprecedented, no? Ngayon lang nangyari sa buong political history natin na yung mga big fish ay kinasuhan. Although, meron ding dating kaso which involved a president, di ba? Pero ito ngayon, because of the dami, yung magnitude ng plunder na pinail, sa tingin ko, this is really a historic moment. Ngayon ko lang na witness na the government is really that serious. No?
So, Attorney, na-mention nga kanina, 750,000 pages. So, medyo matagal na review ito, no? Paano kaya tayo makakasiguro na hindi naman to abutin ng how long? Itong kaso na to, do we see like a specific time frame for this?
While the Office of the Ombudsman has certain periods to follow sa kaso na ito or sa mga kaso na ito, hindi talaga natin ma-predict yung time span kung gaano katagal it will take for the Ombudsman to come up with its action on the cases. Maraming kaso ang final, maraming transactions involved. As you said, there are so many documents involved. However, hindi naman yung dami ng documents ang pinaka-importante. Sa ating batas, ang pinaka-importante yung kalidad ng ebidensya. Evidence that has good quality, yun ang mas okay kumpara doon sa dami lang. No?
And do you think, Attorney, malakas yung evidence natin dito nga sa kasong ito? Marami dito, testimony, and then yung reports din ng COA. Anong tingin ninyo, Attorney?
Sa tingin ko, may basehan. I cannot really tell whether the evidence are strong or not. Kasi that's for the Ombudsman to determine. At hindi rin tayo pwedeng mag-preempt because sub judice or we have to respect yung proseso, di ba? May due process din involved. So, sa tingin ko, dahil may COA report, may audit reports, at saka merong mga testimonies by the
Whistleblowers.
so-called whistleblowers. No? Sa tingin ko, may basehan. I just don't know how strong these evidence are.
Okay, and let's talk about naman yung yung na kaso, yung mga terms para lang maintindihan rin ng ating mga viewers. Ano ba yung difference ng malversation sa plunder and corruption?
Pag sinabi nating malversation, merong misappropriation of public funds or property by an accountable officer. So for example, a finance officer or a treasurer of a government agency,
Right.
or one who is authorized to release or disburse public funds, or one who is authorized to keep as a depository public funds or property. Tapos accountable siya doon. So pag may nangyari doon, nawala yun, or there is disbursement, unlawful disbursement or misappropriation, it falls under malversation. In the case naman of corruption, corruption is a generic term, no? Medyo malawak yung corruption, which may even include plunder, malversation, bribery, and other crimes defined by the Revised Penal Code at saka ating mga special laws. But when we speak of plunder, plunder is sui generis, because of the peculiarities of the elements. Yung plunder ay walang katulad na krimen sa ating statutes. No? Yung plunder is like raiding the treasury of the country. Very devastating ang plunder. Not only because the threshold is 50 million, yung minimum ay 50 million, but the extent of damage to the government and to the people is incalculable. Hindi natin pwedeng i-estimate talaga. It's really very serious that, to me, this is next to treason.
At attorney, nabanggitin nyo kanina yung malversation pala, no? Kailangan ikaw yung nagdi-disburse or ikaw yung nagsisecure noong pera. So, attorney, paano dito sa mga kongresista? Nagre-recommend lang naman sila ng proyekto. Pwede ba sila maging participant sa sinasabi nga nating malversation?
Dito sa malversation and even plunder, merong conspiracy provision. So in short, kahit hindi ikaw ay hindi ka accountable officer, it's possible that you can be charged together with an accountable officer. So may mga jurisprudence na yan. In the case of plunder, mas matindi kasi the nature of plunder implies the participation of more than one person. So merong conspiracy sa plunder because of the involved. It's quite improbable na isang tao lang ang involved dyan. It takes many guys to tango.
At yan ang nakikita natin ngayon. Napakaraming
Yes.
kasangkot.
Yes.
Pero attorney, I guess yung isang public fear din is that these people just get away. Parang may kaso ngayon, tapos mawawala rin dahil sila nga ay personalities. It has happened before. What do you think about this?
Well, kung isipin natin, no, in the case of Erap, he was convicted and then pardoned. Eh bakit ngayon, these are senators and congressmen who are lower in rank? Bakit hindi natin pwedeng i-treat ito in the same way as we did with the former president? So I think the public will really demand that the government will should use all the means available, lawful means, to secure a conviction.
And talking about this, attorney, ano nga ba yung mga next steps na tinitingnan natin? After nga nitong ma-file na sa ombudsman, yung ombudsman mag-file sa Sandigan Bayan, ano pang mangyayari, attorney?
Well, nandyan na sa ombudsman yan. The ombudsman will look at the complaints at saka yung ebidensya. Kung may basihan, the ombudsman will issue an order for the start of the preliminary investigation. Pag may PI na, yung mga respondents na yan, no? From senators, congressmen down the line, no? Mga na-implead dyan, ay orderin to submit their counter affidavits to contradict or to rebut yung ebidensya at complaints laban sa kanila. This is what we call due process.
Attorney, yung PI ombudsman ang gagawa.
Yes, it's the ombudsman that will do it under its rules. Meron siyang sariling procedure. Although this is similar to the procedure being employed by our fiscals or prosecutors. However, the ombudsman, shall we say, is more equipped when it comes to graft and corruption cases. So, kung magkakaroon ng PI, we can be assured that our ombudsman, who is a former justice of the Supreme Court, will be more cautious at careful sa paghimay ng mga ebidensya, and I think she will observe, no, yung highest degree of due process para ma-ensure din na yung karapatan ng mga respondents ay hindi ma-violate. So, if she finds probable cause sa lahat ng kaso na ito, or in some of these cases, then the ombudsman, under the rules or under the law, can file the appropriate informations before the Sandigan Bayan. Bakit Sandigan Bayan? Because under the law din, kung ang official ay naka-occupy ng position ng salary grade ay 27 or higher, it should be the Sandigan Bayan that has jurisdiction.
Okay. And attorney, nakakuha naman tayo ng balita na si Senator Enrile ay na-rush na nga sa hospital for high blood. At medyo, kasi ito na nga yung trend so far sa mga nakakasuhan. Is it possible ba na kung if he is found guilty, he'll be put under hospital arrest if ever kailangan?
Well, parang may trend naman dito sa Pilipinas niyan, no? Na every time na may mga kasong ganyan, and the officials involved are really occupying high offices, they rush to the hospital. But in the case of Senator Enrile, we know that he is a man. He's almost
88.
Yes.
90 years old, 88 or 89 years old. So, I think may din siya, merong mga tendency na magkaroon ng ganyang mga klaseng problema. No? However, that depends now on the government kung ano ang dapat, considering also his health on humanitarian grounds. But I can see that there will also be some parang problema when it comes to the two other senators who are charged. Kung gagawin din nila yung ginawa ni Senator Enrile na magpa-confine sa hospital. However, kung totoo na magkakasakit sila due to these cases, then that's up for the Ombudsman and the DOJ to look into.
Okay.
Actually, attorney, ito naman talaga yung tanong nung taong bayan. No? Parang, kailan ba pwede mag-issue ng warrant of arrest nga itong Sandigan Bayan? Nabanggit ninyo kanina yung proseso. Sa anong bahagi ng prosesong yon, attorney, pwede mag-issue?
Mag-file na ng informations ang ating ombudsman, kung may basehan, kung mayroong probable cause to file cases before the office of the Sandigan Bayan. The Sandigan Bayan will look into the validity of this information or informations. At usually nakakaroon ng hearing yan to determine the validity of the information or informations. It is only after that the Sandigan Bayan will decide to issue a warrant of arrest against the accused. At pagkatapos niyan, meron ding hearing na magaganap on the issue of suspension. Because under the plunder law, merong provision doon na nagsasabi na once a valid information is filed before the proper court, merong karapatan or power yung korte na mag-suspend ng akusadong opisyal facing such a charge such as plunder.
Actually, attorney, sorry, ihahabol ko na lang din. So kapag kunyari masuspend itong mga senador, anong mangyayari? Kulang tayo ng senador bigla? Aakyat ba yung mga natalo?
Hindi lang senador yata, even congressman.
Well, yeah, attorney. Pero ano yung will the losers from the 2013 elections become suddenly officials?
Hindi naman. But this will really test the political will of the Senate leadership and the House leadership pag dumating na itong punto na ito when this issue will crop up, whether to implement the order of suspension. Kasi ang order ay manggagaling sa proper court such as the Sandigan Bayan, and the implementing office will be the Senate or the House. We have yet to hear or to see a Senate or a House suspending its members because of plunder or some cases.
Alright.
Okay, and I wish we had more time kasi napakaraming aspeto na kailangan pag-usapan. Everything is so complicated. Pero attorney, baka meron lang po kayong final message para sa ating mga viewers.
Well, at this point, ang ating publiko ay nagmamasid, nag-observe, at very vigilant sila. They want a government that is really serious sa kanyang programa na maibalik yung decency sa ating gobyerno. So, without also depriving ang karapatan ng ating mga respondents dito sa mga kaso na ito, we just hope and pray na yung ombudsman will decide this case or cases in the best light in accordance with law. At saka hopefully magkakaroon ng fruits itong mga efforts na ito ng ating Pinoy administration. We are looking forward to positive developments pag nangyari ito, and siguro lahat ng Pilipino except yung mga kalaban ng ating presidente will be very proud of this administration, at kailangan din walang politika involved here, regardless kung sino ang makakasuhan, regardless of party affiliations. Dapat kung saan ang ebidensya mag-lead, doon tayo.
Okay. Maraming salamat, attorney. Napakalinaw na paliwanag mula kay Attorney Manny Luna tungkol sa pagsasampa ng kaso ng NBI at DOJ sa Ombudsman.
Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat.